Hey everybody, we're back for yet another interview, but this one's really cool. We're here with Allan Hall. He's a pretty well-known cosplayer. I've been following him for a couple of years. He does some incredible costumes. And so, Eric, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Oh, thank you very much. I guess we can jump right into it, but really ask, when did you first get into making costumes, doing cosplay and such, really getting into it?
I have loved costuming ever since I was a little kid. When I was in 4th grade, I made my own Halloween costume out of a large rectangular box for the body. I used dryer hose for the arms, and then some empty bottle leeches that I sewed together with fishing line for the legs. And, when you go to the grocery store, they have those gumball machines. The 25-cent ones have like a little plastic bubble, the prizes in. I took 2 of those bubbles and made eyes for my robot with that. And I went to my 4th grade Halloween party. I got dressed in it. My dad laid me down in the back of his pickup truck and drove me there, and then helped me get out. And I went to the costume party, and I took first prize for that. The year after that, there was an anime series called Star Blazers.
Oh, yeah.
I think it also goes by Space Battle Yamato.
Yeah.
The main bad guy was a blue human-looking guy named Dustlock. And so I took blue food coloring and put it all over my arms and my face so I could go as Dustlock. It didn't come off for like 3 days, even after repeated showers and stuff. Growing up, I was in a lot of community theater productions with my mom, like Fiddler on the Roof, Carousel, things like that. So from an early age, I had an exposure to the theater, to makeup, to costuming, and it kind of progressed from there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so are you still in theater?
Not as much anymore. I've done a couple of fan films here locally in Salt Lake, and a few years ago when I was still living in Seattle, I made a couple of fan films with my friends.
And I think I saw you still sing, though, huh?
Yeah, I love to sing. I love karaoke. I have a karaoke machine at home, and about 5,000 songs on it.
Wow.
Professionally, I am a corporate trainer, so for some of the subjects I teach, I will change the lyrics of popular songs so they reflect what I'm training about. I'll put them into PowerPoint presentation and then have the whole class sing a song.
There you go. I saw actually a good one of you on YouTube doing Love Shack.
Thanks. Yeah, that's
Justice Data.
my go-to song. Yeah.
I had a fun time watching that one. So how long does it take you to make a costume, say from like concept to finish?
It really depends on what the costume is. My board costume I've been working on since 1993, adding things, changing out parts over time. So that one has never actually been completed because I always upgrade and change something on it. Something simpler like my Remus Lupin outfit from Harry Potter is a brown suit I found at a thrift store, some shoes from a thrift store, a cloak from a thrift store, and then just a little makeup. I comb my hair so he's got to get the kind of half falling in his eyes hairdo, and then I put on the scars with lipstick.
Okay.
And so something like that can just take a day or two.
Yeah. And the Borg costume that you're talking about, I think I know the one you're talking about. It's like really a big, hulky costume, isn't it? Like Borg on steroids, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of coverage of that one.
I have won the Las Vegas Star Trek Convention costume contest with that 4 times.
Wow.
And then some local conventions here in Salt Lake City, too, with it.
Oh, man. Were you at the cons in Vegas in the early 2000s?
Yes, I've been going every year since 2002.
Okay, yeah, then I probably saw you one of those years because I was there from about 2000 to 2003. So I must have seen you on there one of those years winning. or two, by both the years I was there.
Yeah, that's possible.
So now, how many characters have you cosplayed over the years?
I don't have an exact count. I think I have about 120 different costumes.
Wow. Where do you keep them all?
Closet space. Some of them are spandex, so I've got some of those large Ziploc bags that I can store things in and get a number of them into. And a lot of them I can reuse parts for other costumes. Like the brown suit used for Remus Lupin, I can also use that for the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who.
Yeah, right.
Who has a similar suit. I've got leather pants and a leather jacket that I can use for Ghost Rider. I can use that for Terminator. I can use that for Elvis as well.
Yeah.
So.
Even a Captain Jack that would work with, huh?
Yeah, I've got a kind of blue pea coat, kind of like Captain Jack wears.
Cool.
I have epaulets from, I think, a pilot's uniform that I found at a thrift store.
Nice.
To complete the look as well. But I have never completed it, but I've got it in case I need to use it. That same coat is what I used originally for my film version Nightcrawler outfit.
Okay, cool.
When he wears kind of that trench coat.
And that's like at a thrift shop, you said.
Yeah, I get most of my materials from thrift stores.
That's obviously been a really good buy. So, what are some of your favorites out of those then? What do you personally like to play, enjoy playing the most?
Yeah. I really like my Borg outfit. I put a lot of time into it. It has a voice changer built into it, so when I speak, I sound like a Borg.
Awesome.
I also have the left arm I made out of a Sears leaf blower tube, and then one of those mechanical toy claws, and I've added parts to it. I've added some EL light to it. I have a motor built into it, so that I've got a plastic radial saw on the outside, so I can go up to people and go kind of menacingly. I run it when I walk, so it sounds like I've got servos in my legs as I'm walking, and then the voice unit. I also have a laser pointer, so a laser comes out, and I've got a plasma disc above my left eye as well, to kind of, and then lights in the chest and so forth.
Wow.
I also love cosplaying as Data and as Lore.
Okay.
I've got several different versions. I started with the next generation standard uniform of Data. I've got Data as Carlos from South America from the episode The Big Goodbye. Data as Sherlock Holmes. Data as Jaden the Iceman when he had amnesia. He was on the pre-industrial planet. I've got Lore in his brown outfit from the episode Brothers. I've got Lore in his black outfit from Descent. I've got Data as Frank Hollander from the episode A Fistful of Datas.
Okay. Very cool.
Friar Tuck from the episode Cupid.
Nice.
And I'm working on kind of a secret version of Data for this year's Las Vegas Star Trek convention.
So everybody might as well just throw up their hands now. Just give it up now and just start competing for second place. So, now, how many conventions a year do you go to? Do you figure?
I go to the Las Vegas Star Trek convention every year. Salt Lake FanX, Salt Lake Comic-Con. There's another one local here in Salt Lake called Conduit that I go to every year. I will sometimes go to the Anime Bonsai. It's a lot more anime focused here in Salt Lake. And then being from Seattle originally, every couple of years I'll make it back up to Seattle to go to the Emerald City Comic-Con.
And each one of those is probably like 2 or 3 days, huh? So you're...
Yeah. Most of them are 2 or 3 days. The Las Vegas convention is 4 days.
Yeah,
and next year, for the 50th anniversary, it's going to be 5 days.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I would love to be there. That'd be great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I bet you are. I wonder if you're going to get a big extra special trophy this year for the 50th anniversary.
Well, I don't... for the past few years, I've gone with a group of friends, and we each have taken a part. Last year, we did the Cupid episode. The year before that, we did Fistful of Datas, recreating the costumes from that.
Very cool.
Even if we don't win, it's still a blast just to hang out together and to get pictures.
And I saw you doing a piece with you and Lal. Who's playing Lal with you that year?
Lal is my friend Adrienne Grady.
Okay.
And she does a great Lal. Last year, she asked me ahead of time to sing "Wake Me Up" by Evanescence. And if you listen to the lyrics, it really kind of parallels the story of Data and Lal. And so it was awesome to be able to perform with her.
Yeah, that was really good. That's on YouTube also, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
I'll put links to those down in the description so that people can watch that after they watch this. After, not before.
Yeah.
So, and now you do a lot of conventions with your as a family, don't you?
Yeah. Generally, I'll go with the kids. My mom will sometimes come and help out as well. The kids love dressing up too.
Yeah, I've seen lots of pictures with the kids dressed up in their various.
Yeah.
What would you say their favorites have been?
Well, a couple years ago, when I did Data as Jaden the Iceman in Las Vegas, my daughter had a Rapunzel outfit that looked pretty close to what Gia, the little girl in that episode, wore. And so I took eyebrow pencil and did kind of the alien design on her forehead, and we hung out together. So my daughter enjoyed being a princess, and I think she enjoyed the attention too.
Yeah.
My boys really dressing up as superheroes.
I figured. Yeah.
So for Free Comic Book Day, other events like that, we'll have fun doing that.
Oh yeah, that's just perfect right there. Now, being that you do these with your kids a lot, I imagine you have some tricks and advice for other cosplayers out there taking their kids to maybe make life a little easier.
Yeah, be patient, bring snacks, bring things for them to get distracted with, favorite toys, quiet books. The kids have inexpensive tablets, and so they like to play video games and things like that. So if they really want to get bored or antsy, if the convention has a pool area, it's fun to take them there and just splash around and get some energy out. Snacks, little baggies of Cheerios or granola bars or fruit snacks or things like that too.
And I think I'd read somewhere some of your advice. You'd said things about these are actually pretty interesting. If you like, but like costumes with gloves. Like if you're gonna have your wee ones with you, make sure those gloves are like the can come off real fast type, or
Yeah.
The kid's costumed up. It's like quick come off costume to change the diaper or whatever.
Yeah. It makes it a lot easier to do that. There are some costumes that I won't wear with kids that have included gloves, like Spider-Man or my Iceman, Captain Atom, things like that. My Mr. Data outfit, instead of painting my hands and putting makeup on it, I wear white gloves, and so it makes it really easy to take those off, help them use the restroom, wash hands afterwards, and so forth, without ruining any makeup or anything.
Oh, that's really cool. Now I saw you're involved with a group of cosplayers, and you're called Heroic.
We're called Heroic, yes.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and tell everyone about Heroic?
Yeah, it's an acronym. It stands for Heroes Engaging Real Organizations in Charity. We've been around for about 3 years, and we just look to do service projects for individuals, for groups, organizations here locally in the Salt Lake area. We've worked with Make-A-Wish Foundation to help wishes for sick kids. We do a big Toys for Tots drive every year in conjunction with a local comic book shop. We have worked with the Muscular Dystrophy Association, and then a lot of schools, community events. We're completely volunteer. We don't charge. We're just a group of people who like to dress up and do our part to help the community.
Where's the best place for people to get hold of Heroics or get online and see what you get up to for themselves?
We have a Facebook page. If you just look for Heroic, our symbol is kind of an H with a circle around it. or you can go just to the internet, www.heroicinc.com. We're also on Instagram as Heroic Utah.
Okay, great. And I'll make sure we get those down there in the details too. Let's see what I wanted to say. Now as far as costumes go, you mentioned you have a surprise data costume in the works, but do you have other things, any other projects you're working on right now?
Yeah, right now I'm also working on an animated version of Scarecrow from the Batman animated series. It's almost complete. I've got almost everything together. I just need to take some time to add some detailing to it. I'm also, for the upcoming Salt Lake Comic-Con, working on a animated series version Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I found a gray tuxedo at a thrift store for about $10.
Very cool.
And I'm going to take it in and have it dyed purple. Then I've got the spats already. I've got a different purple suit, but it's more of a modern-looking suit. This one has long tails and everything, so it looks like the classic Joker. I'm also working on the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker version of the Joker with just kind of the black bodysuit.
Oh, really cool. Do you have a lot of Jokers you've done in the past?
I've just done the one Joker in kind of the modern purple suit.
Okay.
I've got an orange shirt that goes with that, and then kind of a green cravat. I've been using green hairspray. I'm looking for a wig, but the green hairspray is okay for right now. And then, the white gloves. I've got purple shoes and some spats. And then I love to accessorize.
Uh-huh.
I've got one of those bang guns.
Very cool.
Where that pops out. As I go to thrift stores, I look for decks of playing cards. And I can pick up a deck of playing cards for like 50 cents, and I'll look through it and make sure it has a Joker. So I've been collecting different Joker cards, so I can hold them up for pictures. And then I've got a squirting flower, and then I've got a joy buzzer. And so I'll walk into an event or something, say, "Hey, Eric, how's it going?" And I'll buzz them, and they'll laugh at the Joker.
Speaking of making the costumes, for other cosplayers out there, you have any tips you found or advice, along the way, which you've learned that you think would be helpful?
Yeah, my style is not really to do a whole lot of sewing. I know how to sew a little bit, but for some things I will commission parts of it. I have a classic Green Arrow outfit from the 70s, 80s, and by going online, going to some spots, I found some boots at a thrift store that I spray painted green. I found some leggings locally at a Wet Seal. I went to a thrift store and found the perfect, really big kind of turtleneck that he wears. And then for the main bodysuit, I had that commissioned. Okay. I went to a local gymnastics place and asked if they knew anybody who did commissions, because I figured that would be close enough to superheroes, and she did a really great job on it. I went online to Amazon and eBay to find a letter G belt buckle. I found a belt at the thrift store. I spray painted the right color. I found a Robin Hood hat that I altered a little bit, and then I made a quiver out of a FedEx box covered with a green pillowcase that was just the right size for it.
Nice.
So you don't have to spend a lot of money to have a good costume. If you just kind of piece it out, look at different places, you can find elements for it, and you can put it together yourself.
Yeah, because I know there's plenty of people that have their budget ranges considerably, and they'll all come out with really people. As you say, I mean, they will make everything. They'll do it from buying the cloth to measuring it out, stitching it up, cutting it, whole 9 yards. But I kind of like your approach a lot better.
I did the same thing with. I mentioned my Remus Lupin and 10th Doctor brown suit.
Mm-hmm.
I found a similar blue suit, so I can do that look for the 10th Doctor. Also at a thrift store. I think it was $7 or $8. I found some red shoes, the athletic type shoes that the 10th Doctor wears. Okay. And then I have a brown leather overcoat that looks pretty close to what the 10th Doctor wears with the blue suit. Mm-hmm. I use that same overcoat. I can temporarily kind of sew in the front hem where it buttons in a little bit, and then I use that as part of my Aragorn outfit from Lord of the Rings, because he wears kind of a leather long coat like that. Right. So repurposing your elements of your cosplay for others can help save money as well.
Yeah, I imagine. And space.
Yeah.
Now, look, you've been recognized so much for your costumes over the years, or your cosplay, that you ended up on William Shatner's Get a Life, or you appeared with as a family too.
Yes.
Can you tell us? I mean, I've seen it, but for everyone else, why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, it is a documentary that William Shatner put together. I filmed it primarily in 2011, and I saw kind of an ad on StarTrek.com that said, "Hey, William Shatner's filming a pilot at the time. It was going to be an ongoing series, and they were just looking for cosplayers to be interviewed." And I kind of wrote up my story about what I did.
Well, all right. Sorry, there's a little bit of a technical glitch there, but that's not too uncommon with me and what's been going on. But we keep running, so we're still moving. Now, next question I do have for you is, since you have a lot of, or you do play data and lore a lot, what is your personal, it doesn't have to be just one, it could be more than one, favorite data moment or episode?
Probably my favorite data moment is at the end of the Most Twilight, where he has drawn the Varan T disruptor against Regis Faj, and he is transported just as he's firing.
Oh, yeah.
And Chief O'Brien notes that it looks like the weapon's been activated in transport. I can deactivate it. And then Riker asks Data what happened, and he said something must have occurred during transport. And he lies, which never does, directly to Commander Riker. And I think he made a leap in his quest to become a human, in seeing how evil Revis Fajo was, and needing to put an end to it, and yet not wanting to involve Riker or anyone else into what was his own decision.
Right, yeah. And one of those times he recognizes, that committing it evil to, take care of this great evil, greater evil was in his power, and something he could do right then. And he had his moral dilemma, and, probably one of the first times he's traveled the gray path, because before he was very, morality for him was still a lot simpler. Yeah. I
really enjoyed that.
I think Data was probably one of the best tools they've ever had for exploring the human condition and humanity, and what it means to be, or what it means to individuals maybe to be people, or what it is to be a good person or an amoral person. And they explored it in such fascinating ways with, say, maybe that... You remember the episode where Data starts having dreams?
Yes.
Yeah, and the whole sequence that these bits of the dream, as you're going through the episode, are coming up, and he's doing his painting, he's trying to figure it out. And then at the end, when he has like the full and final dream, you know, and it's part of his consciousness, like waking up to like a fuller level again, you know. It's just very fascinating, the self-discovery he has.
Birthright Part 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Last year at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention, I dressed like Data in the regular uniform, and I found a prop Raven at an after Halloween sale.
Very cool.
I stuck it on my arm. I just walked around with it as if I were Data dreaming the entire convention.
Oh, that is cool.
This year, I'm considering doing young Dr. Soong from that episode.
Cool.
With the hammer and the metalworker's apron and so forth.
Yeah, that would be
change
fantastic.
It up just a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah, that would be really good. Sticking on the Data theme, now it did have a question from somebody out there, a member out there. Let me get here. Her name is Tracy Carver. She wanted to know, when it comes to your Data costumes, if any of them have any of the head panels or the on-off switch in the back.
I don't have the on-off switch in the back. I'd have to get some serious body modification for that, I think. I experimented with making the head panel once. It didn't turn out very well. I have a friend who's a really good prop who's offered to work on something like that for me. So I think one of these years I'll take him up on it. I think that would add a lot to it.
Yeah, because I imagine that would be a pretty complicated little piece of prosthetic to put on there and make it look good.
I've been using the yellow contact lenses for about 10 years. The first couple years I went to the biggest convention starting in 2002. I didn't have the contact lenses. And I think it was 2002. I was walking across the main convention area, and there was a girl who was on the opposite side who saw me and kind of screamed and ran up towards me and looked really close and said, "Oh, you don't have his eyes," and just kind of walked off. And so I thought, I should do that. So I went to my local Walmart that has an optometry department. I don't wear glasses or contacts normally, so I had my eyes measured by the optician and ordered from a legitimate source.
Cool.
And so I've been using the yellow contact lenses for Data and lore ever since. I also use them for Nightcrawler, Captain Atom. I do a Count Dracula that I wear them for. I do a werewolf, and I wear the yellow contact lenses. They're an item that I can use in multiple cosplays. One of my other favorite costumes is my Guy Gardner outfit. I've been a long time Green Lantern fan, and before I did my Guy Gardner, you can find superhero bodysuits online if you search for the word Zentai. On eBay, there's a number of places, mostly in China, that can make a fairly decent outfit for you. So I started with a Hal Jordan kind of basic outfit, and I liked her Guy Gardner. So from that, I found a leather jacket at the Salvation Army for $10, and I unstitched the arms, so I used that as the main vest part. I found some baseball pants that were black and had the white stripe on the side that were perfect. I found some moon boots, snow boots, at a thrift store that I spray painted green, and some white opera gloves also found at a thrift store, and I spray painted the vest. Now that I took the arms off, spray painted it with just green spray paint, let it cure. Spray painted the boots green, and I found a couple of white belts at a thrift store that I kind of stitched together to make his belt look. And then I found a red wig at a media store, and I had a friend who does wig alterations cut it, so it looks like his kind of classic bowl cut. And I started with the logo being felt some craft foam that I glued on the front of the jacket. One of the first conventions I went to, somebody was just kind of walking by and said, "Oh, that would look better if it were leather." And, as a cosplayer, it would be easy to just get offended and say, "Who are you to give me advice?" But I took that feedback and I went to a leather store and I found some white leather, and I used that as the background, and then I made another symbol out of craft foam rather than felt.
Okay.
And I have to agree, it looks a lot better, and it's a lot more solid. And
gotta listen to that input.
My Gardner outfit is another one of my favorite outfits. And at the 2008 Emerald City Comic Con, I won Best Superhero
All right.
in the costume contest for that. So,
some very good advice then.
yeah, if people give you feedback, like the girl who saw that I didn't have the data contact lenses, my outfit, I think, is a lot better with the contact lenses than without. So I'm glad I took her feedback. I'm glad I took the feedback from the guy at the convention in Salt Lake to improve my Guy Gardner outfit. So if people give you feedback, it's free, and it may be something that you may not have thought of or realized that will really improve your costume.
Yeah, that's true. That's some good advice there. Now, seeing as that we are pretty much a sci-fi website and such, why don't I ask what have been your favorite and say most influential sci-fi shows to you, over the years, growing up and as an adult?
Yeah.
Films too.
Films too, sure. As a kid, I think I mentioned watching the animated series Star Blazers, Star Wars, of course. I remember seeing the original movies in theaters. Star Trek, I started to watch the original series in syndication with my mom when I was about 7 years old. The Next Generation debuted during my freshman year of college.
Okay.
So, watching that, looking forward to that every week.
Yeah.
The thing I like about Star Trek is its optimistic view of the future. There are, you've got your Mad Max, you've got Hunger Games, you've got the dystopian, apocalyptic future where everything is bad and awful. And then you've got Star Trek that shows that we can overcome problems, we can work together. Humanity can be its better self. And I think Star Trek gives us something to aspire to, that's noble and is not the dirty apocalyptic world that we see in so many other movies.
No, I agree. And of course that's what so many people say when they talk about what they love about Star Trek. And of course that would be more of the real Roddenberry Star Trek, though, because when he passed, and then the writers and producers were freed up a little bit from the constraints of Gene saying no, no, no. They did start taking some grayer paths in some of their storytelling. But I have found some of those to also be some of their... They had to just blatantly cross the line sometimes, but... and it's probably not something Gene would have really been as fond of, but I think they were just as equally important and poignant a series, say, as Deep Space Nine was under R. Steven Behr. That was very good. And one
of my favorite episodes of Deep Space Nine is Pale Moonlight, where Cisco goes through all these machinations to bring the Romulans into the Dominion War. And the final scene where he's gone through the entire log entry and he just needed to get it off his chest, and he deletes the log entry. Just kind of showing how far he was able to go, coming from a paradise of the Federation and having to deal with the harsh realities of war. And maybe having to abandon temporarily some of those Federation ideals in order to achieve a greater good.
Yeah, and being that commander on that front line, he was the head of the spear out there. He had to make the dirty decisions. Yeah, that was that's one of my favorites for sure too. It's so good, definitely. And that's a path I think they were able. The traditional Gene Roddenberry Star Trek, which is, kind of white hat, black hat, and
Yeah.
morals are pretty clear. And I mean, I agree that's really important. As a kid, also in the 70s, growing up and watching Star Trek, and I had, my Kirk uniform, the shirt, and Spock's too, and I had the phasers and all that. Honestly, I know as a kid, through shows like that and through like Twilight Zone, I actually did learn a lot of morals, and growing up is
Twilight Zone too.
And growing up, the more I watched them, then the deeper the issue, you understand more and more the older you're getting as you watch it, the deeper the issues they're talking about, and it just keeps teaching these things. And it is surprising, but I feel the same way. Its best influence is how it gives that positive message and actually teaches, some real morality,
Yeah.
But yeah, Twilight Zone. What are some of your favorite Twilight Zone episodes?
Wow, there's so many. The Eye of the Beholder is one of my favorites. I love the point of view of the camera as they're wrapping the bandages after the unsuccessful surgery attempt, and you don't find out until the end that the world is ugly except for the beautiful people who are considered to be abnormal.
And hideous. Yes.
And hideous. Yeah. I haven't seen anybody in person like that, but I've seen some cosplays online where people have replicated the doctors and nurses from that episode. They look really good.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that's a pretty classic episode.
There's another episode. The title is escaping me right now, but it's with Charles Bronson and
Elizabeth
Montgomery. Yeah. And that was a really good episode too.
It's a very Cold War episode.
Of war.
Yeah.
Rod Serling introduces it as something that will take place 150 years from now, or something that took place 3 million years ago. Mm-hmm. And just the two civilizations fighting each other until there's nothing left except for the two survivors.
Yes, and they happen to be named Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve. That was, I think that was a different episode. Where the guy in the rocket crashes. Yeah.
Okay, then get mixed up, but
yeah.
It's easy to do when there was 156 episodes of the Twilight Zone, so easy to make a mistake here and there.
Yeah. The only word that Elizabeth Montgomery says is "pokrasny," which is Russian for pretty. So it kind of parallels the Cold War without making it too obvious, I think.
Yeah. They didn't really have to put any big pointers to it anyway. It's very obvious at the time. Even in syndication.
The monsters are, the monsters are due on Maple Street. It's another of my favorites, where the neighbors to turn against each other, and it's aliens kind of off in the distance, just turning off and on electric power and things like that, so that they don't have to go over the world by force. They will make neighbors paranoid of each other and kill each other.
Yeah. And the monsters are us.
And the monsters are us. And, you look at something like that was done in the 50s, and how relevant it is still today with the rioting that's happened, with the ethnic battles that you see in other countries, with what ISIS is doing, Boko Haram, some of these other groups, how unfortunately it is to get people to turn against each other.
That's funny. I've been watching several episodes, of old classics. As a lot of my rewatch, and it's just like, for an example, throw out from the original series, Private Little War. You rewatch a lot of these episodes, and they just still resonate in so many ways because we're still in the same problem in so many ways.
Yeah.
And is dealing and talking about, our foreign policy, our international relationships, back during, Vietnam. That's what's going on in a private little war. The brush or bush wars in Southeast Asia. In the 20th century. But you can watch that today, right now. Watch that episode, and just go ahead and replace, the bad guy. Like now, say Klingons used to be the Russians. Now we can replace them with, like say ISIS or whomever. It's just. It's the same problems over and over, and the stories hold for, unfortunately, then they resonate so long because we keep making these same mistakes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I guess we kind of get off on a little bit of a soapbox, sci-fi soapbox there. You were recently interviewed on a internet radio show. I wanted to hear it. I had trouble finding the link, so, hey, could you tell us who it was and how the interview went, what you talked about?
Yeah, it was on K-Talk Radio here in Salt Lake City, AM 630, and I was on the show with a couple friends of mine who are also cosplayers, Des Huvian, and with Pigtails and Power Tools, and we were interviewed for about 2 hours.
Wow.
Just about the charity that we've each done, tips and tricks. It was a lot of fun.
All right.
I'm not sure if the link has been posted yet, but I can look for it and I can send it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be great because I was really interested in seeing that. In fact, it was quite funny. You've been on my list of people to contact for a while, for interviews. And then that day I go, okay, and I'm going to go, I sent your invite through Facebook. And so I went to your page and I was like, you got to be kidding me. It's posted right there. Someone had just interviewed you. And I was like, oh, I'm going to look like a copycat or something. But anyway, I would like to see that. I was looking forward to it. So now, yourself online, where can people find you and your work and your website?
I just have my Facebook page. It is Eric Allan Hall. It's EricAllanHall, or I think the shortcut to it is ERIC3060.
Okay. I'll make sure we have a link down there to that, too.
Great.
Now, do you coordinate with people online with cosplay events? Are you open to people getting in touch with you to coordinate on stuff?
Absolutely. Every year I get together with a bunch of friends at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention, and we do group cosplays. We've done that for the past several years. We're planning another one, kind of secret.
Very cool.
This upcoming convention. But that's how I got to do the duet with my friend Adrian, who dressed as Paul. She contacted me a little bit beforehand, and we did that. Last year I had another really fun opportunity. My friends Mark and Amy were getting married in Las Vegas. They're both big Star Trek fans, and they know me from my Mr. Day cosplay, and I was officiate at the wedding and to sing Blue Sky like Data during their wedding.
Nice.
And that happened this past year. It was an absolute honor to be able to do that with them.
I bet. That's great. So the full white dress uniform and everything, huh?
Yes, exactly. Just like the film. The bride wore pink dress like Troy did in the film. I don't have official authority to marry, so a friend of theirs who is the Justice of the Peace did the actual legal marriage. I did the Starfleet marriage.
The nice ceremony and big fun stuff.
Yes.
Let someone else do the paperwork.
A little nerve-wracking. I love to sing. I love to do karaoke on stage and begin singing a cappella before the music came in. So right before the ceremony, I practiced, 3 or 4 times, and I was so glad I came out and hit the right key to start, and it just went flawlessly. So practice makes perfect.
There you go. Preparation, preparation, preparation.
Yes.
Oh, man, great.
Absolutely.
All right, well, look, I think we've just about run our course for this segment, which just means time-wise. So, is there anything else you would like to put out there? Shout-outs? Anything you'd like to promote? A cause you?
If you'd like to visit our page, it is heroicinc.org. That's the charity cosplay group I'm part of. We're also on Instagram as one word, Heroic Utah. So you can follow us there as well. And just one last bit of advice for cosplayers out there.
Yeah.
Stay true to your vision and do what burns within you. Take advice from other people, sure, get needed, but you are the artist using your body and your resources as canvas. So make your vision come alive.
Yeah, that's good advice. That's well put.